Welcome to Marketing Your Car, the podcast for funnel hackers everywhere. You are now part of a small group of underground entrepreneurs who are trying to change the world through the products and the services that we believe in. But because we don't rely on venture capitalists, we don't have financial safety nets. So we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We do that through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. Now, this podcast will give you a glimpse at the daily life of a funnel hacker. So let's get started.
Hey everyone, this is Russell. Welcome to a freezing cold Marketing Your Car. So today, it's cold outside. It's under 10 degrees. But what's worse is my house this morning, our bedroom was 55 degrees. We have something wrong with our heaters. I think I probably complained about this last winter too. Our house is kind of big, and with a big house comes heating issues. Trying to keep the whole house warm, and so last year, same thing with this huge struggle, and the heater and the water are tied together, so it's like we can't get a warm shower or heat. So anyway, it's just bitter cold. So I've been ordering all these space heaters. We got the heating guy and the plumbing guy coming over today, and I don't know, it might just be another cold winter, but other than that, today's amazing. And I actually wanted to share with you guys two stories today, lest any of us want to complain about our situation or our business, because that seems to be something fun that people like to do. I see it on Facebook all the time. I see it in personal conversations. There's always some excuse about why we can't have success. And so I want to take those excuses and I want to smash them with a hammer and jump on them, and then catch them on fire. I can't really catch glass on fire. We'll turn it so hot though it freaking melts the glass, and then it turns into sand again. I don't know, whatever. I just want to get rid of all those things because if you're living in America or Canada or most countries, we don't have obstacles, and if we do, we need to be able to get over them. Like, there you go. It's out there. Anytime in your mind, like, I can't figure this out because of blah, like, that's not a good excuse. You got to figure it out. Time to stop not thinking and start thinking. Like, that's it. So I want to tell you guys a couple stories of some of our inner circle members who have taken from me all my excuses to ever have about anything ever again from this point forward, moving on for forever. So first I'll tell you about two of our inner circle members, Andrew and Vlad from the Ukraine, and they are so cool. So they're from Ukraine. I think the average salary in Ukraine is like $200 a month or something like that. And over there, they're not internet savvy. People aren't. Like, nobody buys things online. Like, it's not you don't push someone to a website and they pull out their credit card and they buy. It's just not something that people do. They don't trust it. They don't believe in it. And so Vlad and Andrew, they want to have success online. So they start figuring out, like, okay, here's this obstacle. Nobody can buy things online, yet we want to sell things online. So what do we do? How do we figure this out? And so these guys who, again, the average salary for like a well-paid person over there is like $200 a month. And they're like, we want to become millionaires. How do we do that? And it's just like $1 million for them is like $1 billion over here. Like, it's us wanting to become billionaires, right? And so they get to work and they start doing everything. So first thing, after they join the inner circle and they listen to some of our stuff, they start doing webinars weekly. I want to do a weekly webinar because Russell said so. They didn't be like, oh, I don't want to do a webinar every week, or I don't know if I can get Facebook ads to work every single week, or like all the excuses that many people have told me since I've been saying you should do a webinar a week, every single week for the rest of your life. There's always some excuse coming out. So instead of making excuses, they just started doing it. And then as they're doing this webinar, they're like, man, people just don't, they can't push somebody to a website to go buy. Like, people don't trust it. So to get people to buy on their webinar, they set up a little call center. So they end up hiring a bunch of people to take phone calls. But still, even people are scared to take credit cards over the phone. And so what happens a lot of times is that people will actually mail them cash. They will do sorts of things. They were telling us that the other day, and this comes back to like how afraid that economy is of like credit cards. Like, the person was not willing to get the credit card over the phone because they thought it was going to be stolen. So what they did is they took their credit card or their debit card or whatever it's called, and then they wrapped it up in an envelope, and then they mailed the credit card to him. And the letter said, hey, if you guys can take this credit card, go to the ATM machine, here's my PIN code, run it, take the cash out, and then mail me my ATM card back. And so they did, and that's like, they're hustling, trying to figure out how to collect money. They're getting people to ship them their ATM cards because that's more safe for their country than to go buy things online. They got call centers they built out. They got people sending cash. Like, every obstacle known to man about collecting cash. They don't even have merchant accounts. They've been able to do it. And guess what they did last year with their webinar? Okay, drum roll please. In a country where the average salary is $200 a month, and people are scared to buy online, and it's so underdeveloped people can't even buy online. Last year they did $700,000. In fact, that was a couple months ago. It's probably more than that, but last I heard, $700,000 from their webinar. Is that insane? Like, does that not make you think, like, wow, I'm in a country where people love buying stuff online. I'm in a country where people are used to it. I'm in a country where the average salary is not $200 a month. It's a lot more than that, right? Like if you have any issues, like my people won't buy, they're broke, they don't have any money, like those issues are not real. They're all in your head. They're stories you're telling yourself, stories I'm telling myself. They're not real. If you're willing to like think through it and not have those excuses and those roadblocks and just smash through them, you can do what these guys have done over there in the Ukraine. It's funny because like their next goal, if they want to do a webinar here in America, he's like, you in America, you guys don't know how easy it is. And I'm like, I know. Like, they did $700,000 over there, are going to become billionaires over here. So that's number one. Number two, sorry, I got a stuffy nose too, so I apologize. One of our new Inner Circle members, and I don't know them super well yet, so I'm not comfortable sharing names and stuff, but I will share the story because it's worth it. And as I get to know her better throughout the year, maybe I'll share more stories. But they own a company over in West Africa, in Nigeria, like that area, and they sell supplements and pharmaceuticals and things like that. They've got clinics, and his company did like $50 million last year, which is amazing in and of itself, especially in like, honestly, like a third world country. And so apparently she saw my Funnel Hacks webinar and saw how I was selling supplements, and so wants to start selling supplements. So joins Inner Circle, comes in, and we had our Decade a Day on Friday to kind of go through their model and their plan and things like that. And she showed me this thing, and it's crazy. First off, she went and built out a supplement line of like 70 supplements, because she's like, as soon as we release this, we'll be knocked off instantly. And I guess it's illegal to buy supplements in the country right now unless you all these legal things, and so most people buy all that kind of stuff on the black market, and so they're competing against the black market people who are just selling underhand. Second off is over there they don't really have addresses. Okay, so if your customers have addresses, you already have an easier job than she does. So if customers don't have addresses, so you can't be like, hey, ship my product out to whatever west, whatever north, whatever, here's the street and zip code, because they don't have that. It's like, yeah, we're on the third house on the left down from the store. Like that's the reality she lives in. So she's like, there's no way to ship products to people. And if there was, like, most of the time, DHL will do it, but it's like, I think 7 or 8 times more expensive than like what we're paying over here. Just again, all these hurdles, all these variables. Like if I would have heard that, I'd be like, well, I guess I can't sell supplements in Nigeria. I'm going to the States, right? Like that would be I'd be going to like, where's the least barrier of entry? Like, where can I slide in? But instead, she's like, no, like these people need this stuff. It's going to help them, and if we can figure it out, we'll be the only ones here. Like we will be a monopoly. We're the only ones who can do it. So they went and got all the government approval on their supplements. They're the only people in the country allowed to sell supplements outside the black market, who's not allowed, but they're going to do it anyway. And so she's got this window, and she's like, well, we can't ship to people's houses, so we had to figure out a way to solve shipping issues. And so what she did, insane, so cool. You ever heard of Amazon lockers? I never heard this before, but if you Google Amazon lockers, excuse me, they're like these lockers that are in different cities, right? Let's say you're in Chicago or somewhere where like you may not have, I don't know. Anyway, they're lockers, right? So Amazon will deliver to these lockers, and then the lockers notify you, and you go there, and you go to locker. There's like 50 lockers there. You type in a code that pops out. Here's your product you ordered, right? Which is pretty cool. So instead of delivering directly to your house, it delivers to these lockers. Lockers, people go and pick up their stuff at the lockers, kind of like a mailbox, etc., or something like that. But it's called Amazon lockers. And so she saw that. I was like, oh, cool, boom, that solves my problem. So she went out and bought, I think, like 15 or 20 of these locker systems that she could use. Then she went because they had to be secure, because people will break in these things and steal stuff over there. So she went and negotiated deals with like, I don't know, 15 or 20 banks to have these lockers inside of their banks all around the country. And so now she's got a distribution channel all around the entire country. So when the supplements are done and the funnels done, people can buy it. But once again, people don't, it's just crazy. Like, so many hurdles. Like, people won't buy stuff online over there, so they have to do everything cash on delivery. Someone has to go say, yes, I do want to buy this. So they click a button to buy it, and they put in some information. I think she's going to have them pay $1 or something just to prove they have a credit card. Then she actually delivers it to the locker. The locker notifies them. They go pick it up at the locker, and then they pay cash at the locker to get the actual product. Okay, now, I don't know what's going to happen to this business yet, but I've seen how she's turned, less than that into $50 million a year. And I think that my guess is that she's going to turn this into hundreds of millions of dollars, because she's figured it out and she's solved these hard problems. And so I wanted to share both of these stories for you guys today, hopefully just to put things in perspective. Like, when there's a will, there's a way, and that's it. Okay, if you're struggling right now, and you're here in the States, or you're in Canada, or you're in a country that has postage, that has credit cards, that has zip codes, that have street addresses, I promise you guys that the answers are there. It's been done over and over and over again. The trails have been trailblazed, right? People have gone before you. You just need to look and model. I look at entrepreneurs like this, who I'm so grateful to have in the inner circle, because they're inspiration to me and to everybody else. But we look at that and you're like, man, if they can figure that out there, what can we do here? What can we accomplish in a society, in a land, in a country where this is, this is something that's normal, that people want to do it, where people are online buying stuff 10, 15, 20 times a day. You just got to convince them that your stuff's exciting and cool. And I hope that gives you guys inspiration. I know it has for me. I really, every time I look at my life, my business now, I'm like, there's no excuses. Every problem is solvable. These basic needs that these guys don't have, they figured out ways to solve those problems, and we can too. We just got to think and be creative, and sit back and try to figure out the answers, because they're there. And the good thing for most of you guys is that most people already figured out the answers for you. That's what funnel hacking's about. Look at what the answers, look at all the stuff that people already solved, look at that, and then and work off of the hard work of others. I'm grateful for everyone who's gone ahead of me in this industry and in this business, and have trailblazed for me, so that I could step into those grooves and kind of run a path that they've already kind of created for us. I definitely was not the inventor of any of this stuff, but I'm a beneficiary of it for sure, and someone who's proud and grateful for those who've gone before us. And hopefully I can trailblaze some stuff for you guys, and you can jump in and follow me as well. So that's kind of the goal. Anyway, with that said, my nose is so stuffed right now, I'm going to stop this recording, and I'm not quite to the office. Hope that you guys got some value out of it, and hope you just kind of look at your perspective a little differently and realize that we all got it pretty good. So appreciate you all. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys all again soon.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the behind-the-scenes look at our funnel hacking projects. You can also watch the Funnel Hacker online reality show and watch us build and launch funnels live at www.funnelhacker.tv. If you'd like to come hang out with your fellow funnel hackers, come join our Facebook group at www.projectclickfunnels.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget, you can get a free MP3 player with the first 257 episodes preloaded at marketinginyourcar.com. Join us next time, and remember, you're just one funnel away from your dreams.